Hi, my name is Sophie Summers and welcome to the Crossdressing Lifestyle channel. If this is your first time here or you're new, please do consider subscribing to the channel. It's the bottom right hand side of the screen. I believe it's the subscribe button. Now I'm very excited today because one of the things that I've benefited from quite a lot over the years is working with a personal stylist, and these are the people that they know what type of dresses that suit you or clothing that suits you based on your frame, your complexion, and also to, I suppose, perfectly replicate and complement your personality. So I've had the pleasure of working with quite a few over the years, and I thought, wouldn't it be nice if we, as the Crossdressing Lifestyle channel, could get somebody on board that could talk to you wonderful people out there about the aspects of being a personal shopper and how it could fit in and help you out. So I'm really delighted to say that we have a local lady here called Kelly, who is full of energy, full of enthusiasm for the topic, which is sort of fashion. She is a professional stylist herself with a lot of expertise in working in the film and magazine shoots and all sorts. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Kelly in a second. What I would say is that she will be joining us this Thursday 8 p.m. GMT to take any of your personal questions. So if you would like to get a question into Kelly about fashion in general, what sort of clothes may suit your frame, or what sort of recommendations that she would make specifically for you, then please send me an email at sophie@crossdressing-lifestyle.com. The link will be below. So let's get into it. So, with great delight, hi Kelly, how are you doing today?
Hello, I'm great, thank you. It's lovely to be here with you, Sophie, on this sunny afternoon.
Yeah, got to make the most of it, I'll tell you, in this winter. So, we're so excited to have you on board, and there's so many questions that I know we can't cover in such a short video, and I know, and we're blessed to say you're going to be joining us for our live stream on Thursday, where we're going to go into a lot of these things in a bit more detail. But what I wanted to do was to give you the opportunity, if that's the right phrase, to sort of introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about all the skills you have and everything that's needed as a personal stylist.
Okay, great. So, hello everybody. It's so lovely to meet you. I'm Kelly. I'm a Brighton and London and world-based virtually wardrobe, personal and costume stylist. So sometimes I am on some fashion shoots or some films or commercials, making sure the costumes are right, getting everyone's outfits ready. And other times, the favourite part of my job is personal styling. So it's all about thinking about, what's your body shape, what's your colouring, what's your personality, and everyone has unique beauty. So what I love to do is to help people be true to themselves and express themselves as much as they're comfortable in ways that suits their amazing, beautiful shape that they don't even realise they have. So a little bit of a breakdown then. So body shapes, if we're thinking about more of a masculine shape, we tend to have top heavy, where if you measure, say, your chest, your waist and your hips, with the top heavy, the top part will be a little wider than the other parts. Bottom heavy is the opposite, so the hips will be a little wider. Then you have your rectangle, which is a kind of the same, straight up and down. You also have oval, which is where it's a little wider in the middle. And it's becoming winter now, and I don't know about all of you, but I love food. So yeah, oval. It's nice to have a bit of something to keep you warm in winter. But then when you're looking at lady shapes as well, they have all of those, but they also have hourglass or figure eight. Yeah. So that's where the waist is smaller than the hips and the shoulders or chest. So the difference between a figure eight and an hourglass is the hourglass, the hips tend to kind of curve down and the hips are a little lower. But when you're looking at a figure eight, it's more like an actual eight shape, and it's a softer curve where the hips are higher up. So just using clothing, we can completely change our shape.
I know from sort of the clients that we have, generally, we're kind of, I describe us as being like an inverted triangle.
Inverted triangle.
Generally, rule of thumb is that, you know, we're generally one size bigger in the shoulders than we are in the hips and the waist. So when it comes to getting dresses, for instance, you know, it can be a little bit more of a challenge. Would that be fair in saying? So you've got to either balance the figure out or find something complementary.
That's exactly it. So, I mean, you know, if you feel confident in how you naturally are and you don't want to hide anything, you want to be proud of it, you don't have to do anything to change your shape. Just keep it as it is and wear things that make the most of it and highlight your top half. But if you feel like you want to balance it out, because it's quite nice visually to have like the top and the bottom halves in balance. So we want to create more of an hourglass or a figure eight. So we want to add some volume around the hip area, and that's where all different shapes of trousers, skirts and dresses come in.
So do you think, is there a possible way of sort of combining maybe some padding with some correct size or correct geometry of cut or whatever it is?
Yeah, so one thing is underwear, definitely for all genders. Underwear's amazing. Like for myself, I swear by those tummy control knickers. It's just brilliant.
Quick advert for Susan and Trini or whatever it is, yeah.
So yeah, that's one way is to do things like using underwear to flatten certain areas or to hold certain bits in. But then, as you say, we can use things like underwear and padding to make certain areas more curvy and voluptuous. So that's like the foundation, the underwear, and then the clothing comes on top. And then, so for instance, let me think. So for instance, a shift dress. A shift dress is a shape that goes quite straight down. Yeah. So say for instance, if you have a rectangle figure where all your measurements are quite similar all the way down, and you wear a shift dress, your frame will still just come down. Yeah. But if you are bigger on, say, the top half or the bottom half, then that bigger side bigger half will be more noticeable because it's more weight there. So for instance, if somebody is top heavy and they put on a shift dress, they could put some padding to make the bottom half bigger. Or what the wonder with clothes is there are so many, especially with women's wear, which is, you know, why so many people love women's wear, because there's so many more options, I feel, than men's. Yeah. So, you know, there's countless numbers of types of skirts and dresses. So you don't have to just limit yourself to, say, a shift dress. For instance, if you think about 1950s style, that was very fit and flare. So it comes down softly over the shoulders, it nips in the waist, often maybe with a little belt to make the waist look smaller, and the control underwear, tuck it in even more. And then the skirt flares right out. So the flare of the skirt is what adds the illusion of the volume on the bottom half. So you don't even necessarily need padding. You could just wear a skirt with loads of layers and tulle, for instance, or just there's so many different styles. So
I know it's incredibly, it's very, very difficult to do general sort of like a 101 advice for people. And I found personally, you know, I'm not, I'm going to hold myself up here to be shot down. I'm not too bad at choosing my clothes, but I certainly got a lot better when I visited a personal stylist. Because because we went shopping, and the benefit was that, you know, we all get, how would I say, ingrained in a certain style. Oh, and definitely. If you give somebody with an eye like you have for shapes and things like that, they pick up things that you would go, no way. There's no way you're getting me into that, because I'm going to look like a dustbin. And yet when you come out of the changing room or wherever you may be, you think, you know what, that's perfect. And just little tips and tricks about sort of folding things and things like that.
Yeah, like a little tuck here or there, or lifting up a sleeve, for instance. You're so right. And it's that as well, that we get so stuck in what we're familiar with, and it becomes comfortable, and it's all we know. And we just, you know, we go on autopilot, and so we think, oh, you know, I'm used to, for instance, wearing black, so I'll always just pick up black. But does it even actually suit us? Like for me, for instance, my lighting's not great right now. This is a dark green, and this lip actually isn't as bold as it should be, but like a black against my cool muted skin with no lip and, you know, nothing else going, I look quite dead. But if I wear a charcoal grey, then I look alive. So things like colours as well. We
Yeah,
really don't.
I think you've
You know,
hit
we
it
can
right
get
on the
stuck
head.
in
Yeah,
colours.
we've done on the channel quite a while back. There's videos if anybody's really interested. You know, it's knowing your colours, knowing your tones. I mean, for me as a makeup artist, it's incredibly important, and that goes through for your clothing as well, doesn't it? Because you know,
Exactly.
you can wear something, as you were saying, and you look very ashened. You look as though you're going to a funeral and you're all washed out. Put the right colour clothing on, and I think it's something that I also picked up from yourself and other people that specialise in this area. Sort of the way to build up a portfolio, even if it's just get the basics right. And once you've got those basics, you can build up, can't you?
That's exactly it. And yeah, you're so right. You were saying with makeup, and that's another great point as well, because we can, you know, we can spend ages thinking about one thing, our hair or skincare or our nails or makeup or clothing, but colours, shapes, whatever. But to really sell a look, we want to bring it all together. So, you know, having, for instance, killer makeup skills or just a couple of little tips that really go with the style that you're portraying really makes all the difference.
I think
For instance, I love punk style.
I think what you wear is very, very important. It can give you the confidence to probably step out a little bit more. I know a lot of people that, you know, we're both of us are in the LGBTIQ ABCD community these days, and so it's quite I wouldn't say it's a closed community. It's generally a very open and very expressive community, and clothing is very, very important, and it does give you that bit of confidence. So I would say if I personally could sort of sit here and go, yeah, everybody should go to a personal stylist, because it's a way of sitting down with them and you know, as guys, when we're growing up, we go to woodwork, metalwork, pottery maybe if you're a certain age, but we don't go to, you know, makeup classes, or we don't go to dressmaking classes. We haven't got a clue.
It's so true. It's so true. I think it's getting better now, gradually. And, you know, in the 10s, or we're nearly in the 20s, what's going on? We're in the 20s. I can't keep up. Mentally, I'm still 20 years ago. You know, it's changing really quickly, and everything's getting a lot more diverse and equal, which is absolutely fantastic. And always living in Brighton, I feel like this area is really diverse anyway, which I absolutely adore. But you're so right. And, you know, the stereotypes is, guys have to wear a certain thing, women have to wear a certain thing. If I don't know, if guys sleep with loads of people, well, hey, but if a girl does, boo. There are all these stereotypes, and we're just trying to break them down. And as you say, you know, just being in the LGBTQIA+ community, it's about being true to yourself, self-expression, creativity, breaking down barriers. And that's the wonder of styling as well, because it's just about being creative and having fun. So, you know, you don't have to just wear black trousers and a white shirt and that's it. There's so many colours and shapes and prints as well. So somebody might want to wear something different to what they're used to, and it doesn't necessarily have to be completely out their comfort zone. Because I think, you know, with a stylist, it's so important to obviously work together about what you're comfortable with in your personality. So one person who wants to wear something completely different than what they're used to, they might not necessarily want to wear a neon floral print if that's not their personality. So it's just about what's you know, how do you feel on the inside? Who are you? And how far do you feel comfortable pushing it and just showing it on the outside? I think the more that we feel comfortable on the outside, the more it can help us on the inside. And it's like a vicious cycle. It kind of, the snowball of creativity and confidence just gets bigger. So it's so inspiring to see people transform.
You know, it's a huge subject, and you know, anybody that's tuning in and watching the video saying, well, okay, so stylist, what can one do for me? It's impossible to actually answer that one individual question in anything that's probably less than about 4 hours long, by which case most people have fallen asleep. But I mean, there are a couple of basics that you can do, isn't there? I mean, we've dealt with things before. I mean, one thing that a lot of guys have a issue with is finding out what size they are.
That's so. When you know how to do it, it's so easy. I mean, all you need is a tape measure.
Yeah.
So all you do is just measure the widest part of your hips, and you want it to be not too tight but not too loose, kind of in the middle, but not so loose that you can get a hand down the back, because otherwise it would be too loose on the trousers. Your waist is kind of where your belly button is, that area, and the chest is the widest part of the pecs. and there you have ideally in inches. Then say the waist one, that will therefore be your trouser and waist size. And then when you're, for instance, if you're getting jeans or trousers, but to get to transfer it from a man's size to a woman's size, because I think it's wonderful. There's so much selection in the women's that there isn't for men. It's just crazy. And not only are there more options of styles, but it's always a much bigger shop. So say if you go to H&M, the men's section is so much smaller than the women's, and it's just a lot less creative as well. So if you're in the women's section, all you have to do for your own size, just add one more size up. So if you are a small in men's, then just make it a medium in women's. And that's one way to do it. But then obviously in women's as well, you have extra small would be 6 to 8.
Yeah.
Small.
I've always worked on the premises that, to me, over the years, what's worked is a 32-inch male waist is equivalent to a woman's 12.
Yeah.
And just all you have to do is just sort of like take 20 off or add 20 on to whatever you are. So,
Yeah,
just
there's so many charts online as well.
But
with clients, I would always, double check their measurements, because sometimes we might think we're a certain size and we're actually bigger or smaller.
Yeah.
And by wearing the size that doesn't fit our true form, it can do several things. It can either make it look like, say if we wear a size that's too small for our figure, it could look like we've grown beyond what we were in the clothes before. So if there's some like a middle spilling over the hips of jeans, it could look like maybe we've got bigger since we were wearing the jeans, and it makes it look noticeable. But if we just put the jeans in a size up, then there'll be no folds, because everything will just fit as it should, and it will just be so much more flattering. And the same with the oversized as well. So we can do, like a trendy statement of wearing something oversized. But if we're going to do that, it's quite good to balance it with something slimmer. So you can actually see that we're not just drowning in this fabric, because if you just wear something that's too big for you, it could just look like the opposite of the other way, that you've shrunk in the garment. Yeah. So really weird how size can give a weird, give a wrong illusion to our actual body shape.
I know. I know. It's what I'm trying to think of here is that there's going to be people who are going to be watching this is going, this is really good, but how do I establish what is going to be good for me? So what I'm trying to think of is there a way that people can contact you on a one-to-one basis, and what sort of information would you need from somebody to sort of start putting together what I would call a basic sort of wardrobe? I think some people call it a capsule wardrobe. I think that's a technical term for it.
Yeah, well, there's, I do everything from helping people work out their style and body shape. So like a virtual style analysis. Yeah. That will be, so you would give me your sizes. It could be either you measure yourself or an average of the sizes you usually wear, and answer a few questions about, your shopping habits, if you have any or not, or where you like to shop, or what kinds of styles you like, if any, your personality. And then I will tell you your body shape, and also suggest the certain cuts of tops, dresses, bottoms, skirts, outers that would suit your body shape specifically. So for instance, if you're going to a shop, there's just so many things to choose from. It can be really overwhelming. So if you then have this guide and it says, oh, okay, for instance, I'll go by myself. I'm a pear shape, so I should avoid pleated skirts. Even though they're beautiful, they make my bottom half look even bigger, and then my top half, which is non-existent, just basically disappears. Right. So I know I would avoid pleated skirts, and I would maybe go for something more form-fitted on the bottom and a top that may have some ruffles on the top to balance out the top half. So
I think this sounds like a fantastic idea for us to go through on Thursday. A couple of specifics like that. I think if we can get some people hopefully to sort of email in some sort of statistics or something else like that, maybe we'll choose one or two of them and we'll run through something. I think that's really good for the people that are actually watching.
That would be fantastic. I'd love that. And
brilliant.
That's really exciting, amazing. And so that's one part of it. So knowing your body shape and colour analysis, I'm going to add to my services shortly. That's coming too, because it's so important. We were talking about that briefly earlier. But then also, wardrobe. So a wardrobe edit, and so people can have from I don't know, 10 garments to 200 garments in their wardrobes, and maybe in the loft and in some drawers. And sometimes we could not even realise how much we have. And, you know, we might have 15 skirts and we only feel good in 2 of them.
I'm not letting you be in my wardrobe.
Oh no, it's all about empowerment.
You'll be throwing everything away. I know.
No. It's only ever what you're comfortable with.
Yeah,
only ever. And see, it's when we're going shopping with any client I go shopping with, I will always encourage them to try things. Like you were saying, you know, you experienced some shopping with a stylist, and they were saying, "What about this?" And you were saying, "Oh my God, I don't know about this." And then you tried it on, and you were pleasantly surprised. But people might not even want to even try things on, or they might try them on and not feel confident yet. It might be really out of their comfort zone. So it's always super important. It doesn't matter where you are on the scale of confidence. That's where we work with you always. So I would never make you get rid of anything. All I would do...
No, I think you probably have a look and go, what were you on when you bought that? Because I feel like that sometimes. I personally feel like I go, oh my God, what was I thinking when I bought that? Must have been a bad day.
Yeah, but it's brilliant because it might be something you think, oh my God, what was I thinking? But you can just style it a different way. So say, for instance, I don't know, it's a really loud dress and you maybe feel a bit, oh, this is quite attention grabbing. I don't know if I'd always feel confident in this. You could maybe, depending on the style and if it suits you, wear it open with a casual outfit underneath. It looks a bit more like an outer then, and it makes it a bit more basic. So there's so many ways you can adapt what you already have and work with it. So what I do with a wardrobe edit is, right, so first of all, get absolutely everything. Get it from the loft, the drawers, under the bed, wherever it is. Put it in a massive pile on the bed. So first of all, we can say, OMG, I can't believe I've got all of that. Or, oh, I didn't realise I've only got 1 pair of jeans, for instance. And then I organise them all by type. So you can just see, you know, for instance, oh, wow, I've got 50 dresses, or, oh, I've only got 2 dresses. And then what we do is we go through each piece and I will question, you know, when did you last wear this? How do you feel in it? And I will assess it depending on your colouring and body shape and give advice. So for instance, this shape is great, but maybe the colouring drains you. I see you have the same dress in this colour, which really makes your eyes pop. So how would you feel about letting go of that one and just keeping the one that looks so radiant on you, for instance?
I think one of the challenges a lot of people face is, you know, this is a little bit of a secretive hobby for a lot of people. And obviously money is very, very tight. So if we could find a way of maybe guiding people for what I call passe-partout, something that goes with everything, something that can be used very often.
Definitely.
And starting off with some basic shapes, I think that's going to help. That's going to help me. It's going to help a lot of people, for sure. So
of course.
I think what we need to do...
sorry.
I'm just going to cut across you again. I think we're going to keep some of that for Thursday, because I think, you know, there's so much to go on, and you know, there's going to be so many questions, I hope. But what we wanted to do really was to introduce you today and just get people to know the enthusiasm and the sort of you know, energy you've got for your, obviously for your passion, which is, you know, clothing and styling and things like that. Easy to work with, that I know, because we haven't met each other in the real world, but we have talked quite a bit, and it's really nice to have you on part of the team, and I'm really happy to work with you, and so is the rest of the guys and girls here.
Thank you so much.
What I would say, Kelly, is we're going to leave it there, if that's okay with your good self. So I'm going to let our little viewers go. On the premises that, first of all, I'm going to finish off by saying, Kelly, where's the best way for people to contact you if they do want to contact you? Do you have a shout out on your email and everything? So
great, thank you. I've got a website, which is kellywardrobestylist.com. So it's quite, there's no weird spelling of that there. And there's links to my social media on there in case you're interested, you want to see Instagram or anything like that. But it's the same on Instagram and Facebook, Kelly Wardrobe Stylist.
Okay, thank you, Kelly.
Yeah, please do come and have a look, and, you know, please get in touch if you've got any questions, and I really look forward to speaking to loads of you on Thursday.
Let's hope so. So that leaves me, all that leads me to do is to say thank you very much for watching, everybody, and please make a note in your diary for 8 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time this Thursday. So everybody, take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.